Jobs growing up. My first job was in Walker's department store, which is where, is it the Cherry Street?
Cranberry Merchant.
Cranberry Merchant is now. And selling clothes. And I remember we would make a deal, we would take the money, and there were little wires going upstairs. And we'd put the money in that little case, pull the string and shoot it upstairs. They would make the change and take the money, then they'd send it back, and we'd give the customers back their money. Then I can't think of what's in there now. Used to be the Dorothy Louise, and then it was Kelly's Menswear. When I was in college, Mr. Kelly would let me come home and sell clothes at noon in his men's store. Where the Red Cross office is, next door was Kelly's Menswear. Later became Dorothy Louise, and I'm not sure what all's in there now. And next door to that was the Oklahoma Natural Gas office. And that's where you went in and paid your gas bill. Next to that was a 10-cent store. Next to that was a building that burned. And how it kept from catching the whole downtown on fire is beyond me. But in the bottom was a shoe store and a barber shop. Next to that, drugstore. Next to that, Cadet Theater. Next to that, Wilson Hardware on the corner. Good land. Starting to bring back a lot of memories. And I've forgotten what else you mentioned.
OMA. How it became a two-year college.
Clem McSpadden was a state senator. He and I were real good friends. He later on was elected to Congress and then ran for governor and didn't quite make it. Clem was president pro tem of the Senate. If you can picture the Verdigris River, it was not the barge facility that it is now. It was just a wild river. And the people in Tulsa and Senator Kerr and Senator McClellan from Arkansas got behind and started pushing for the barge situation. I got involved in that through the Chamber of Commerce, and I'd go around and give speeches to people about there's going to be a barge traffic south of here on the Verdigris River, and they would just laugh at me, make fun of me, because it was never going to happen. And it got closer, and the Tulsa Chamber, I made a good friend over there, Jim Hargrove, and they started going to see barge facilities in St. Paul. We went to St. Paul, to Houston, to New Orleans, to Chicago to picture what a barge facility was really like, because none of us had ever seen one. And I made some friends over there, but this good friend, Jim Hargrove. And as I said, my friend Clem McSpadden was president pro tem of the Senate. Well, one day, Jim called me. Now, Jim is a brother to Dr. Herlicka's wife, Fran. And Jim called me from Tulsa, and we were just visiting. And he said, "Say, do you know what they're about to do with OMA?" Now, remember, the war was over, and the military was not as popular as it had been. And the number of students out there had gone from like a full house to maybe a third full. He said, do you know what they're thinking about doing with OMA? And I said, no. He said they're thinking about, and I cannot prove this because unless Jim would verify it, they're thinking about turning it into a pre-release facility. And I said, you mean take prisoners, bring them here just before they're paroled back into the public? And they said, yeah. Well, when you think about it, all they'd have to do was fence it. They had the dorms, they had the mess hall, they had everything, and the people that they were putting up there didn't have to be housed in cells. I called Clem and said, Clem, here's what I've just heard. He said, I will check that out. And he got very busy. And as I said, he was president pro tem of the Senate in Oklahoma City. And he got very busy and got that turned into, at the time it came out as Claremore Junior College. Went from Oklahoma Military Academy to Claremore Junior College, and they started having other students and things come out there, and then it progressed to what it is today, which is Rogers State University.